Europe is being repeatedly violated by Russian incursions, whether it's drones or jets or other hybrid tactics, and nothing's happening. It's very, very frightening to watch because if they don't do something about it, they invite more problems. Okay, here's what's happened. I looked at Perplexity just to catalog some of these things. Now, I've seen these in the news, but just to go, like, am I missing something? So, Poland, September 9th and 10th. Remember that 20 or so Russian drones crossed into Polish airspace and they shot down four of them. It only cost them $400,000. And it was a wake up call to go, we really aren't prepared for what might be coming. Romania, just a few days after, that's Polish 9 and 10, and then Romanian and September 13th, just a few days later. Estonia, September 19th, just a few days after that. The Estonian one was the three MiGs that were entering its airspace, lingered there for 12 minutes. Denmark, suspected drone activity led to the closure of the airport. I'll show you this one because from the 23rd to the 26th, that's today, I'm going to go back and show you just 3 or 4 days worth of everything that's been happening. Norway and the Baltics, they had something. And NATO allies and EU defense ministers have held urgent talks. Again, they're talking, having urgent talks constructing a drone wall to deter and intercept future Russian violations because they know that future violations are very, very likely. So that's the only reason that you would have these talks about future violations. And I didn't even comment on this one. Russian military aircraft made dangerously low passes on German warship Hamburg over 2 days on September 19th and 20th during NATO's Neptune strike exercises in the Baltic Sea. And because nothing was done, well, it encourages them. They want to do more. Incentives matter. First thing they teach you in economics class is incentives matter. Okay, so we're going to just go chronologically from September 23rd until September 26th, which is today. Okay, September 23rd. So yesterday, U.S. and Estonian defense leaders held a call after Russia's latest airspace incursion. And then we saw, per Secretary Hegseth, quote, now this was a good statement. I'm glad that he said what he said and didn't just ignore it. Hegseth said, any incursion into NATO airspace is unacceptable. Okay. And the U.S. is in close contact with NATO leadership about next steps. Not great, but not terrible. Like, it was actually saying the right kind of thing. Okay. Also, September 23rd, what did NATO say? Russia bears full responsibility for the incursion of Estonian and Polish airspace. Quote, allies will not be deterred by these and other irresponsible acts by Russia from their enduring commitment to support Ukraine, whose security contributes to ours, in the exercise of its inherent right to self-defense against Russia's brutal and unprovoked war of aggression. Okay, that was part of the statement from NATO directly. Okay, good statement, not bad, but you got to do something about what Russia's doing to you. Okay, September 23rd. Estonia plans to station British fighters capable of carrying nuclear weapons after its airspace was violated by Russian MiG-31s. Okay, that's doing something. I mean, it's having some kind of reaction to what Russia was doing. Lithuanian Seimas. The Seimas is their parliament building or their Verkhovna Rada. I've been in the Seimas. The Lithuanian Seimas has given the green light for its military to act faster and strike harder against drones violating national airspace, allowing troops to immediately neutralize aerial threats. Well, again, September 23rd, that's when they're saying this. September 23rd, you also see that this happened. Copenhagen and Oslo, previously not part of what was going on here with, remember, it was Estonia, Romania, and Poland that had been violated before. Now, Copenhagen and Oslo shut down all flights last night after drones breach airport space. Over 60 flights were diverted or canceled by morning. Drones were gone. Both countries have launched a full investigation. We don't know if it's Russia, but it is Russia doing it or behind it or paying some kid to fly drones around an airport, or what's going on. There's something more going on here. Norway reports its Russian airspace violations, the first in 10 years. This is also September 23rd. Denmark, September 24th. Denmark temporarily shut down the airport after drones were seen flying in its airspace. September 25th, in Swindon, that's in the UK. Swindon, I showed this the other day. Nothing is clear yet, but there's already talk that it was a Russian sabotage and that weapons intended for Ukraine exploded in the warehouse. This warehouse that caught fire and blew up. It's the UK's largest drone factory, was planned to be built there on that site. And yeah, so there's some kind of hybrid war dynamic going on here with what's going on. And it's reaching as far as the UK. Russia is willing to keep doing this. Okay. September 25th, we saw this. Poland changes the rules of the game and plans to shoot down Russian drones without NATO approval. Again, they don't have the capacity to shoot them down like Ukraine has the capacity. They can do it, but it's going to be very expensive. Current regulation from 2022 requires Poland to obtain approval from allies, which makes it very slow in doing that. A new initiative will make the Polish army more independent and ready to respond to Kremlin provocations. Well, it's about time. We're only 3 years into the war, and these airspace violations have happened in Poland repeatedly before this month, at least 3 times before this month. Okay. Gabrielius Landsbergis, former foreign minister from Lithuania, says this: if a Russian jet is shot down in NATO airspace today, historians will say that Russia started the war in 2022. There is no need to let Putin gaslight us into allowing him into our airspace to prevent war. But if we fear our own strength, we'll become victims of Russia's. I think that's fair. Like, you've got to do something to defend this land, and it's and the airspace. And he's also said this: it's reassuring to think that when the first shots of World War II or World War III are fired, we will be able to turn to each other and honestly say that we tried for as long as was humanly possible to protect Russia's money. He said that just a few days ago. I highlighted it in a different video, and that's fair. They have done as much as they can, it seems, in order to not get into war and to have peace in our times, to not provoke Russia. And where has it landed them? Well, here's September 26. We have more airport closings in Denmark. Denmark closed its airspace over the airport again. Same reason: suspicious drones. Police spotted something resembling a drone, searched the area, found nothing. Flights resumed an hour later. The day before, same airport near a military airbase was shut down for the whole night. Again, September 25th, 8 EU countries met today to design a drone wall against Russia's UAVs. Here's what could actually look like: layered networks of acoustic sensors, interceptor drones, radar systems, all trying to talk to each other across 8 different militaries. Yeah, they got some work to do. Now, again, September 26th, Romania and Ukraine discussed joint drone development project. They're working on this across. They're doing it bilaterally, and they're doing it as a NATO or European kind of thing. September 26th, Denmark closed its airspace over the airport again on the night of 26 September. Again, that's what I was just showing you. Hungarian reconnaissance drones. What? Hungarian reconnaissance drones were likely detected in Ukraine's airspace, according to Zelensky. What? Okay, preliminary reports suggest that they may have been conducting surveillance of industrial facilities. I'll come back to that in just a little bit. So the Hungarians are doing this. It's hitting as far as Britain. And we don't know what drones are shutting down airports in other countries, but in the Netherlands, 2 17-year-olds were arrested on suspicion of spying for Russia. One of these teens was near the offices of Europol, Eurojust, and the U.S. Embassy and had a device to intercept Wi-Fi traffic. The case is being treated as part of a broader Russian intelligence operation in Europe, and certainly, if not this, other things are at play there. 2 Russian drones breached Swedish airspace near Naval Command Base. Local residents contacted the police after observing 2 large drones over Sweden's archipelago, home to the country's primary naval facility, and again, that's on September 26th. So back to where we were with this Hungary thing. Even Hungary is sending drones into Ukraine. What? Reconnaissance drones entered Ukrainian airspace from Hungary. We're not sure exactly what it is here yet, but early reports suggest that they may have been conducting reconnaissance on the industrial potential of Ukraine's border areas. Yeah. So that's what's going on in Europe. I'm not putting this thumbnail out lightly and saying Europe is being violated. It is. It's just being violated repeatedly, again and again. And unless they do something and do something quick, it's going to get worse. And I fear for what could be worse. All right, tell me what you thought about what you saw here. Put it in the comments below and identify yourself if you're a European too, because I particularly want to hear what you have to say. The shout out here is going to go out to a Rory Chivers, who's an undergraduate student, a YouTube member. Thank you for your time and for your support. And thank the rest of you for your comments. I'm particularly interested if you're European, what you think about this. And the likes, when you hit the like button, it helps this video thrive. So thank you for that. Shares and subscribes. And thank you more than anything for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.